Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. Here we are again for another edition of Hidden Tracks. I'm lucky today to have Nathan Dunn from the awesome power pop punk band Forever Starts Today. Again, I'll preface, we don't genre label here, but you kind of have to, so people know what to expect a little bit. Awesome fucking band from Austin, Texas. Found them in my deep dive, and I'm lucky enough to have Nathan here with me today. How you doing, Nathan?
I'm doing really well. Power pop punk, huh? I like that a lot, actually.
It's hard to describe, man, and I feel bad because you try to ask somebody what they are, and in your head they sound something different. But we got to lead people in some sort of a direction, I guess.
I feel that.
So, what's going on? How you handling? I know you got a new song out this year, which is awesome to see you guys still doing stuff, through the shitty times that we had last year.
Yeah,
it's a new year, so. How you guys making out? How you doing?
We've been doing fairly well for the most part. A little non-com, but it's been fairly relaxed. We managed to get in and do that cover for I think it's Specific Records that we released that through, and that was really nice because it's finally something out, regardless of whether or not it's a cover or one of our originals. As long as we're doing something together and at least able to engage with our fans again, it's been really nice.
Yeah, and I have to say, honestly, everyone that listens to the show knows that I'm a deep diver and I go far and I spend long hours online looking at music and finding music. And I have to say it was extremely refreshing for me to find you guys. A little late to the party, maybe a year or two late to find you, but I did find you, which is all that matters. And I got to say, for having that female-fronted power pop punk band, it was just exhilarating to find something that every song that you guys have put out, and I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your ass. Every song that you guys have put out has been so anthemic and so catchy and so thought-provoking, and I cannot get enough of it. And for the age group that you're in, I just want to say thanks for doing that. It's been awesome to hear music like that and to find new music like that, especially with Christina on vocals, Murphy. I'm a Murphy, so there's something in the water maybe, but it's been amazing to hear what you guys are doing, and I think you guys got a bright future.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm definitely looking forward to everything coming up in the future with this project in particular. And I wouldn't be surprised if this probably delves into a little bit of a question that you might pose later, but I definitely have a background in enjoying power metal and stuff of that nature. And I know a lot of quite a few of our members besides Christina and yeah, no, it's actually only Christina now. We either have a background in choir or marching band or just normal band. So for us, anthemic is pretty much solidified in our minds.
That's awesome. Yeah, it'll lead to my question that, you're doing such great things today. And do you remember your first musical memory? Do you remember, was there a song or that wasn't a cartoon or singing in music class in school, but your first song as a child that you just heard that changed your life and outlook on music?
Ooh, wow. Oh, man. Man, I really don't know. As crazy as it sounds, I would probably actually say Green Sleeves. Do you know that old, like, it's a super old, like, classical piece? And it was mostly because it was programmed into a very tiny, like, little, like, piano, like,
Little
child.
Casio.
Not even a Casio. It was just like a child's plaything. And here's green sleeves programmed into it. And for some reason, that stuck with me like all throughout my years, to the point where I remember for like extra credit in like one of my English classes, I think my senior year, I was like, hey, can you throw a couple more points my way for this grade if I literally cover green sleeves lyrically for you and play it on guitar? And my English teacher was very supportive of me, and so she allowed it. And wow, I've never thought about that, but yeah, I would actually have to say green sleeves. That's insane.
Well, see, that's awesome though, because it's different for everyone. And I mean, through all of our guests, no one's had the same answer. I mean, a lot of people always go to the Beatles, and I tell them to fuck off with that because you can't use that. But no, that's awesome that you had something, and now it just perked up that memory for you. That's cool as shit.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So going from green sleeves, I mean, how did you progress into finding new musics, what you liked? Was it just trial and error, or was it the old school way of, I mean, I grew up, I know I'm probably much older than you. I grew up being told what to listen to through MTV and the radio because we didn't have the internet till later on in life. But how did you start to find other things to get into, and where did your path lead you after green sleeves?
Oh man, it was really interesting. I didn't really come into my own musical taste till probably about middle school, and it's really interesting. I would say the only reason why I even came into my own musical taste was because of Yu-Gi-Oh. Because like I knew some people that played Yu-Gi-Oh, and other than that, this was like probably like sixth grade or something like that for me. So like I hadn't really delved into music at all yet. And they were like, yeah, we play music. We really like this band called Green Day. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll listen to Green Day because you guys like it. And so I started doing that, and I was like, all right, you know what? I like this. This is really nice. And then I remember before that, I was listening to just basically what was ever on the radio, like a lot of Chris Brown. Put a pox on him. But I mean, back in the day, he was pretty fire. And then, like I was hearing stuff like Mary J. Blige and like all that other kind of stuff. There was just a bunch of radio pop from like early 2000s. So that's kind of like where I mostly grew up. And like my parents never constrained me in terms of like what I would listen to. So like my dad, he listened to like a bunch of country and stuff like that. My mom didn't particularly care at all. And so I was able to just kind of really develop my taste on my own. And I tended to gravitate towards what my friend groups that I felt closest to liked.
Yeah, it's that sense of community, and when there's music involved with it, that sense of community is a lot larger too.
For sure. Yeah, because I mean, like whenever in my early years, I remember whenever I first got a guitar, my whole background stemmed around seeing a bunch of kids in the band hall playing Guitar Hero and like thinking to myself, that's really cool. I want to play with them, but I didn't have Guitar Hero at home or anything like that. Eventually I asked to, this dates me. I asked my mom to rent me the game from a local video station, so that way I could play it on my Xbox. No numbers afterwards. And eventually, like I was probably around 12 at this time. I was like, "Hey, I actually kind of really want to play guitar. Like, can you get me one? That'd be cool." So they got me like a little starter pack and everything. And I had no music genre necessarily in mind, other than like, I want to be like Dragon Force, like freaking Herman Lee. Like, can you get me, like, just get me started. I'll figure it out on my own, So I don't know. My taste in particular is very all over the place.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't fall into, if someone were to label genre me. I mean, I don't think I fall into any category because I just love music, and it doesn't matter what it is. I always say a good song's a good song. Doesn't matter who fucking does it. A good song's a good song. So it doesn't matter what genre it is. So when did you? I mean, if you just started to try to figure out after you got a guitar how to do things on your own, I mean, how did you start to figure out how to do things on your own? And did you tend to lean towards things? Because I know when starting to play an instrument, you start to learn certain things because that's kind of the easier route, but it's also what you like. Is that how you started to do it, or was it just like I just need to learn, simple notes and power chords and, maybe start from some tab? But how was that for you learning that?
So I was initially, since I had no real experience for rock music other than like my dad, he did like country, but he also liked a lot of like 60s, 70s rock and everything. But like I never knew the names of anything he was listening to, and I didn't necessarily want to be learning my dad's favorite songs. There's rebelliousness to this. um, I just went off of Guitar Hero 3. I was just like, is there anything I can do here? And eventually, my dad did hire me a guitar teacher, and I only took lessons for about like maybe 7 months. And he would teach me some things. I think he actually taught me White Room by Cream.
Okay.
Which is very interesting because like I knew it from my dad, but he was just teaching it to me, and it kind of clicked with me because I was like, oh yeah, that's one of my dad's favorite songs, but I'm just learning this because this is a milestone for me. Especially coming from the school band background, learning how to play guitar was very different. I wasn't learning for the sake of wanting to play certain songs, actually. I was just learning because I wanted to enjoy the instrument.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a good way to look at it, and to learn something is you weren't trying to do something specifically. You just wanted to know how to play the guitar.
definitely. Yeah.
So how did that lead you forward? How did you continue to progress to where you are today? So there's steps and cycles. So you start learning guitar and you're usually with a group of friends and other people are playing music. Is that how you started to formulate trying to do band stuff and play with each other, or was it a longer progression, because things were different?
No, yeah. Essentially, my formative band years were pretty cut and dry. It was I play guitar. My dad used to play drums whenever he was younger. He ended up buying a drum kit, and then one of my friends got into it, and I'm like, "Yo, let's start a band called Revenge Is Not a Sin." Like, haha. What's funny is because I only knew how to play the blues at that point, because that's all my guitar teacher at the time knew how to was able to teach me. I remember whenever I showed him Dragon Force, he was like, "I can't do that, but I can maybe get you there." And I was like, cool, just get me as close as you can and I'll figure it out from there. But yeah, I ended up starting a band with like a couple of my friends. We called it Revenge Is Not a Sin. It was very garbage. um, I think there might be a couple like live show or like live videos like floating around on YouTube if I hadn't put them on private yet. But yeah, so from there, once I got into high school marching band, some friends of mine that I ended up making because they were more of like the alternative kind of folks, and that's who I've always vibed with, were like, hey, we got a band called Carnivorium. Do you want to join us? And it was funny. I remember showing up to the very first practice that I had ever been a part of for Carnivorium. They're playing like our vocalist is screaming, and I never encountered that before. And our drummer is like wanting to play blast beats, and I'm over here running blues licks. And it just didn't make any sense. And they were like, dude, you're good, but you're not doing what we need you to do. And I'm like, well, can you show me what to do then? Because this is like, other than Slipknot, I have no clue what you guys are after right now. And so they ended up showing me, and I eventually got into like hardcore beatdown and like deathcore and all that other kind of jazz. And then Revenge Is Not a Sin was very much sort of like a dead project that was sort of like floating in the background, while Carnivorium was actually like trying to practice and everything, because they were more aggressive than I was about getting practices going. And Eventually Carnivorium technically died. And one of my best friends, that was our other guitar player, started another project called The Darkness Wears Her Face. Very.
I see a progression with names going here that's could be a little disturbing to some, but I get it. Go on.
Yeah. And so at first I was, and this other guitar player was eventually my second for Revenge Is Not a Sin. And so we just like, we're kind of doing Revenge Is Not a Sin, but I Wear Her, The Darkness Wears Her Face was his thing. And then eventually, because he couldn't recruit anybody else, we were living in a very tiny town called Taylor. Like max population, I think, is like maybe 10K. So very, very tiny town. So like getting a bunch of deathcore kids together is extremely hard. So basically everybody from Carnivorium ended up in The Darkness Wears Her Face. Our vocalist decided to suggest that we change it to I Wear Her Face because it's shorter and sounds more brutal.
Yeah.
And I feel like this isn't the story you were expecting.
It's fine. I mean, Ed Gain was from Texas, so I mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I see where it's going.
That is very true. Very true. But yeah, we did a couple shows. I know we did one out in New Braunfels at this place called Harmony Suite. As far as I know, it doesn't exist anymore. Did a couple like very, very small, like a birthday or two or something like that. But then the band had
been some fucking birthday.
Yeah, some fucking birthday. Yeah. But then I guess to try and spearhead this to leading towards FST days. So after I Wear Her Face officially died, me and my other guitar player were trying to do the Revenge Is Not a Sin thing, except it wasn't really doing anything. It was basically turning into me going to open mics, masquerading as a band, and calling it a band. You know what I'm saying? It's just me and an acoustic guitar just up there by myself. And then
it's a moniker for a solo guy.
Basically, yeah. Basically. But I guess I'll leave it at that because from here on it transitions to FST stories.
Yeah, and so how did that all come about? I mean, how did you go from, I don't know, I Wear Her Face to a nicer sounding name, a more upbeat sounding name like Forever Starts Today?
Oh man. Yeah, so especially in high school, being associated with people like that, liking pop music of any form or like anything with singing was not necessarily frowned upon. But like it was almost like I wasn't allowed to listen to it. Like I remember I really enjoyed what Lady Gaga was coming out with at the time, and it was like a secret for me.
See that, so that's going to segue right into what I'm going to ask. I have to ask it now because we have our segment here called Guilty Pleasures, something you're afraid to admit to people that you listen to. What was, and that's the exact thing that I try to pinpoint all the time is, even though when you get older, it's okay. You're like, yeah, no, I fucking like this, but there's still that millisecond where you're like, I don't know if I should be admitting to it.
Oh man. I don't know. I really don't care what people know I listen to. So like for me, I'm so all over the place, but I guess maybe my guilty pleasure is Britney Spears.
Oh, see, listen, that's a beautiful guilty pleasure. So you can continue with not being, because I don't want to even go any further than that. That was brilliant. So
yeah, I don't know. Like Britney fucks. I mean, that's the best modern way to say it. Britney fucks, dude. Like her song. Okay, maybe this is coming. This explains why it's a guilty pleasure. My favorite song by her is Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not Toxic or one of her significantly bigger hits. It's Sometimes.
Okay. No, listen. This is it's my perfect soundbite for this episode. Britney fucks. So let's continue with you keeping pop music kind of a secret, but
yeah,
and continuing on getting into the band.
Yeah. So yeah, I was kind of keeping the fact that I like pop music a bit of a secret from them, but it showed up in my "Revenge Is Not a Sin" writing. It got to the point where I didn't even know what to call what we were doing because I didn't know easycore existed,
Mm-hmm.
um, except for like Chunk No Captain Chunk. Other than Chunk No Captain Chunk, I didn't even know easycore was like a legitimate genre, which sounds blasphemous considering the fact that oh no. Oh yeah, 4 Year Strong. 4 Year Strong is basically the like premier like freaking easycore band in most people's mindsets. Um like didn't know that even existed. I barely listened to any pop punk because of what I was my friend group at the time, but I was essentially writing easycore. And so I even tried to call it popcore, not knowing that which it was just easycore. That's all
Yeah.
it was. But I tried to give it a different genre name because I didn't even know it existed yet.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. If you go into like Bandcamp and you go into the fucking genres, it's like, at some point I just get lost. I'm like, I don't even fucking know anymore. Like, what? This just sounds like rock to me, but it's called something else now, and I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting into being an old fogey where I'm like, music's music, but like, there's so many genre labeling stuff. That's why I don't like to do it here, but you kind of have to.
Yeah, you do. It helps. I think the genre labeling is only to at least solidify a preset expectation. That's
Yeah.
all that it is really good for. Other than that, like there's so many different groups, and like us in particular, we genre bend all the freaking time. So
you continue you finding out what you're doing is easycore and what you're listening to, and how did you start to find everybody else for the band to kind of stick and figure out what your sound was going to be?
oh yeah, thank you for redirecting me back to the main topic because I totally forgot. I went on a spiel. But yeah, no, I was doing open mic nights at a place in Austin called Kick Butt Coffee, and eventually I ran into Christina, and at that time she was going under her solo name, but I was especially with this being post, like all those like being friends with all those people that were like, if it has singing in it, it's for pussies. Like, especially me being post that, I was very more open with like listening to pop punk and anything with singing. So I was like, you sound a lot like Lights and Courage My Love. And I love those bands. And this is such a very nice, refreshing thing for me because this is basically the genre that I want to be a part of. And she was extremely excited about that as well. Because like I remember in our early days of starting this out, I remember before I was even officially part of her band, going and seeing her, and she was playing with like reggae groups and like just anybody really. There was no established pop punk scene at the time when I met her. We just kind of ended up in the right place at the right time whenever Forever Starts Today was officially started. But to backtrack really quick, so she and I kept in contact, and I was having issues with my other member of Revenge Is Not a Sin, as expected, considering. And she was like, well, my other guitar player just left. Do you want to join? Even if it's just as a fill-in. And I was like, yes, please. Like, even if it's just as a fill-in, this is going to be really great for me because now because compared to what I was doing, she was actually on stage. I wasn't. I played like maybe one little 4th of July festival, and that was about it. And so yeah, I joined her, showed up to a couple practices. My tone was definitely significantly more aggressive than everybody else's. I'm over here running a cranked 6505 plus PV well, everybody else is running like a Vox or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, this is really cool, guys. Thank you for having me. um, but yeah, I eventually started filling in with her, and it just got to the point where I was like, yeah, my project's dead. I'm just one of your band members now. But she was wanting to transition to being treated like a full band versus just her solo project anyways. So the timing worked out perfectly.
Right place, right time.
Mm-hmm.
So were the individuals that are currently in the band, were they all in that band with Christina, or did you guys start picking up more as you went on and started finding your sound, or did it just transition into Forever Starts Today?
Yeah, so the current lineup is kind of years in the making. Because basically Christina and I are the only founding members left at this point. Initially, her brother Matt was on board. He was the other guitar player that I was joining. I wouldn't say that there was basically just slight creative butting of heads. We never got into arguments or anything like that. It just didn't play out the way I would have liked it to. And then eventually we had a drummer come in who was really good for the most part. He had a very Travis Barker-esque attempt at playing.
Okay.
And I mean, we vibed with it early on, but and then eventually we got Troy. And Troy is basically the third longest running member of Forever Starts Today. We met him at Kick Butt Coffee because he lived near there, and we that was just like the meetup place. I think he talked to that drummer that we were currently with on like a Facebook group or something along those lines. And so what I love about Troy though is like for guitar players, he and I essentially fucked on the first date. Because as soon as I met him and he started talking to me, I was like, hey, you want to go back to your place and like jam? Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. And like, so he and I have been super tight ever since then. And he's been a phenomenal part of FST. Like for instance, most of Always Hope is actually him for the most part. I had only a couple songs that I contributed there, but to go on about the other members, our drummer Nick, he became a part of us roughly within the past 2 or 3 years now. It's 3. Yeah, because I forgot about COVID being a year.
There was a year that we missed in between, so
yeah,
it still existed. We just forget about it.
Yeah, the year that shall not be named.
Yes.
It's like the Voldemort of years. But yeah, Nick came on with us, and he has been a friend of Troy's for years now. They were roommates at one point, and they even had a band together out in Dallas, I believe. Mostly kind of just like a cover band that they would just kind of do whatever with. And then our current bass player, Alex, used to be the front man for a local Austin group called Lions and Tigers. Just stuff happened. Unfortunately, we lost a very close friend of ours who was the drummer for Lions and Tigers. And so that band was as much Anthony's, the member that they lost, as it he was such a huge integral part of the pop punk scene, and without him, Lions and Tigers kind of couldn't continue, so Alex eventually joined another project, but then other things happened, and we were like, look man, like, do you want to like join us, and he was wholeheartedly about it, because in the past I used to fill in for Lions and Tigers quite frequently. I used to play bass for them, and I've even done a couple shows on guitar for them. And so Alex has been one of my best friends since my integration into the Austin pop punk scene. So, been very lucky with this lineup. This lineup is amazing.
Well, it all sounds amazing. So, I mean, what you guys are recording, it comes through, which is amazing. Is everyone on that power pop punk train when it comes to creating new songs for the band, or is there, one person appreciates it more, or are you guys just focused now? Like you found your sound and this is what we do?
Yeah, we kind of are we found our sound train to a small degree. We are willing to diverge a little bit. Like, so for instance, considering the fact that I bet you've heard the vast majority of our music at this point, Reckless sounds almost nothing like anything on Always Hope.
Mm-hmm. Does not.
Yeah, we are very much willing to progress. I will say this. There is one song that we have not released yet that we are working very hard to get out to you guys as soon as we possibly can. That is sort of like the bridge between where we continue with this, but there is still that anthemic feel to it. And that is basically the main thing that we've wanted to keep throughout our writing processes, is just massive, like regardless of how many people we're playing for whenever we are on stage, we want to sound as huge as possible and be as entertaining as possible. And this very wide open, very filled out anthemic sounds, like let me see if I can even give a reference in terms of Reckless. So like in terms of Reckless, whenever we're coming into that last that basically ending double chorus, but it is also part of the bridge, where we start off very soft with the piano. Eventually, Christina comes in vocally. Like, there's actually a part in there that you won't be able to pick out, but now that I mentioned it to you, you might be able to. There is a MIDI French horn line that supports the harmony section in that very soft part to just add to the ambiance of that particular area. And I remember whenever we were in studio, I was thinking to myself, man, I wish I still played French horn, because I would love to legitimately record this, but we couldn't. And but I heard that line in my head, and I was like, how cool would this be, to our producer? And he was like, that would be super dope. So he put it in there, and it's rather kind of far in the back, but at the same time, if it wasn't there, you would know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can't wait to go back and listen to it now and mm-hmm. find it.
Yeah, listen to at least like one like quick little French horn recording, just so you have the tone in your head, and then go back and hear that, and then you'll finally catch it.
Nice. So I want to know, and it could be a pretty hard question for you, because it's a hard question for everyone. It's usually a hard question for me, even though I have my standard 3 that I always go to. But do you have a favorite band that you constantly go back to? Like, there's times when you want to listen to some kind of music, but you don't know what you want to listen to, so you always go back to, okay, I'm just going to listen. I know this is my favorite band, or one of my favorite bands that I can constantly count on. Do you have anyone like that in your life for favorite bands?
Yes, it is Lights.
Okay.
For me, it is Lights. I can never stop listening to her. I'm kind of on a hiatus from listening to her right now, but I've been trying not to reference back to her, just because her tonality is so ingrained in my head at this point, from how much I've listened to her. But like, let me put it this way. If I was on a deserted island and you told me to only bring one album, I can tell you what album I'm going to bring. I'm going to bring Siberia from Lights. And if you allowed me 2 albums, I would bring Siberia, the normal full electronic, and I would bring Siberia acoustic.
Nice. There's an album like that. That's one of a band called Def Havana put out an album, Countless Nights, and they did it acoustic, and then they did a reworked version, and it's one of those albums where I don't know which one's better. Like, I can't pick which one is better. They just both fucking kick ass, and I'm like, how can you take the same song, do it differently, but it still kicks ass? Like, what the fuck did you do to me?
Yes. I love that so much. Like, that's one of the great things about like full band versions versus stripped down versions, is like sometimes like, especially I wouldn't be surprised if this is probably how you feel about the acoustic versions for these songs, is the stripped down versions somehow feel more impactful, like on your emotions.
Well, yeah, it's more personal. It touches a different part of your soul. You know, your soul's broken out into a lot of different pieces, and when you hear something softer, you're automatically softer. That's why, you know, when someone would talk to you as a child and they talk softly, you're more inclined to listen than when they're yelling at you.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
You know, so, and I think it's the same thing with music. You're more inclined to feel an emotional attachment to something that's softer. Like, I wasn't a huge T Swizzle fan, Taylor Swift, until Folklore, and it was soft and it was stripped down, and I was just like, oh god damn it, I like Taylor Swift. Like, son of a bitch. I've been trying to avoid this, but it's fucking brilliant, but it's softer and it's not poppy. It's just, it hit me a different way, and I'm just like, fuck, this is brilliant. Like, I fucking hate the fact that I absolutely love this. Like, I took myself outside, beat the shit out of myself, and then came back inside.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah, no, yeah, I totally feel you on that. I actually have not listened to that yet.
Well,
if you have Disney, you suggest it.
If you have Disney Plus, or if you know someone that does, they did an entire documentary on the recording of it, because it was recorded during COVID in New York State, not that far away from me. And it's literally, it's fucking insane. It really is. I'm like, I can't begin to say like how much I was just like, when I was done watching it, I'm like, you know what? I got to tell people that I like it. Like, it was just so good.
Yeah.
And the songs were so good, and they were storytelling songs, and they were, I mean, for Christ's sakes, Justin Vernon, Bon Iver, like, does a song with her and wrote the bridge to a song, and I was just like, God damn it, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh man, I get that.
So we got your favorite band, which is awesome. Do you have anything that would you even use that for like your mood control? Like, if I'm feeling sad, like sometimes I gravitate towards sad music, other times I gravitate towards happy music. Do you have like a mood control section? Is that who you're still going to use for that? You know, if you had a really shitty day, are you going to blast some metalcore, or are you going to blast some, you know, something to bring you down and chill you out?
Yeah, oh man. I definitely think, again, currently I've been trying to explore more artists as of right now. So, but at the same time, yes, Lights is kind of like all over the place. Like, I can pick an album from her to fit my mood, potentially. And I think like Little Machines, like if I'm feeling like relatively like optimistic, I will probably put that album on, and just generally good, but rather relaxed. However, if I start slipping into more of like my depressive phases where I'm like super hard on myself, it's Julian Baker all day.
Yeah. I was supposed to see her last year, and, you know, of course, got canceled. And she's got a talent. She really does.
Dude, let me tell you, the time I saw Julian Baker, I cried. I did not even care. Like this. Oh man, my accent's starting to come out. Sorry, I've been drinking a little bit of whiskey. Yeah, but yeah, whenever I saw Julian Baker, it was phenomenal. Like, I remember one of my homeboys from a band called Nominee. He was there with us, and he was like, "Yeah, she did good. She missed a couple loops," and I was like, "Bro, I don't care." It was still absolutely amazing. Julian Baker is a treasure because her songs are so simplistic and so stripped back, and the way she utilizes loops is masterful, because like she can use it to lead into something, and then she switches to playing like octaves on her guitar, and that way she allows herself to sing without being overly complicated, and prevent herself from getting out certain lyrical lines, and it keeps her mind off of her hands. Basically, that's the best way to put it. And for like coming from a guitar player who also sings, that is phenomenal. Being able to keep your mind off of your hands and focus on your vocal ability, because for the most part, most guitar players are going to be guitar players first and foremost versus a vocalist. If you're a vocalist first and foremost, you're most likely going to stick with that until guitar becomes necessary. So, like for Christina, for instance, the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because she just posted one of her first videos that she ever posted on Facebook again. Pretty much the only reason why she even picked up an acoustic guitar was just to make sure that there was music behind what she was doing, because otherwise her just kind of a cappella singing, like any one of your homegirls could do that. But like if they're playing guitar and playing it at least well and singing over it, that's a completely different story. That actually makes you somewhat of a musician, in my opinion. Because it shows the multitasking aspect and all this other kind of jazz. But yeah, Julian Baker, absolutely amazing. Her songwriting is phenomenal. I went off on a tangent.
No, it's perfectly awesome. I listen. Descriptions are fantastic, and I mean you brought up, and it literally hit me. Like I was trying to think of the last time I cried at a show, and I was like, I know it was recent. And I'm like, and not recent in the past year or so, but I was like, when was, and all of a sudden it just popped into my head. I saw this band, they're called the Lone Bellow, 3 people, guy, 2 girls, very, I don't even know, folky-esque, I would say, but we have a venue here. It's an old church, and it's all a nonprofit organization, and these big bands come through that have won awards, and the Lone Bellow came through, and they did this song with an old microphone and stood away from it, and they were singing perfect harmonies with no guitars, and I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden I'm just getting chills, and my wife looks at me and goes, "Are you fucking crying?" And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "So am I." I was like, "My God, what is happening right now?" It was just one of those most beautiful moments that you were so not expecting, but it was just one of those times, like as soon as you said you saw her and you were crying, like I was like, I know I cried recently at a show. What was it? So that was my crying story.
Oh man, that's absolutely amazing. Well, what are they called again?
They're called the Lone Bellow.
The Lone Bellow. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. Unfortunately, I won't be able to experience what you experienced,
No,
but I would like to at least get like the general gist.
Yeah, no, and I'm telling you, it's the venue, because then I saw the band the Milk Carton Kids, who were kind of like Simon and Garfunkel-ish. They've won like Grammys for their folk music, but they're very Simon and Garfunkel-ish, and I saw them there play too, and they walked out into the middle of the church and were just singing their song with their mandolin and guitar, and it was just I think it's just the whole aesthetic and the scene and being there and the way it is that just makes it different. And like, I'm not religious, I'm not, it was just, I think it's just the scene. Like, it's just like, oh my Lord, like I like the bands, but it's just a different sound.
I get it. Like I totally agree about like the imagery of it, and like just out of curiosity, what were like the dimensions of like this church? Like, was it a very open, like very typical kind of like very high ceilings?
Yep, very tall old church. And what's funny is directly behind it is the Wellmont Theater, where big rock bands come and play. So it's like, and I think it was that night. Yeah, that night, one of my favorite old school bands, The Cult, was playing in the Wellmont Theater behind the church. It was like, it was so weird. Like, I'm like, okay, I want to go see The Cult, but I also want to see this here, because this could be cooler.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Like sometimes, like my thing with seeing bigger bands live sometimes is you kind of lose the relatability to their music, because especially whenever, like I myself, whenever I watch bands, typically I like to sit back and enjoy the music versus yelling the lyrics straight back into their face. But at the same time, like for more upbeat bands and stuff like that, like at a pop punk show, no, I need those people there at the front that are willing to do that. But I'm going to sit back and I'm going to enjoy that because they add to what the band is doing. Now, for a more like laid back kind of feel, I hope nobody does anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just like, shut up, please be quiet, shut up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Person's in their zone. Let them do their thing.
definitely.
Yeah, my last show, I was in the very last show in New York City when COVID shut down, and it was Dashboard Confessional and the Get Up Kids
Ooh.
at Webster Hall. And I was so lucky that I got to go in early with VIP and just see Chris Carrabba play by himself with his acoustic guitar the way Dashboard Confessional to me really is, because that's what I grew up, Swiss Army Romance was just him and an acoustic guitar. But then when it opens up to everybody else, I find my way. I go upstairs. I stay next to the soundboard, away from everybody, so I can enjoy it. And I literally left probably 3/4 of the way through their set because I couldn't deal with the fucking karaoke. I was all the way in the back and just everyone screaming and singing the songs around me. And I was like, for fuck's sake, I didn't pay for bad fucking dashboard karaoke. Like,
yeah, that's unfortunate.
That's the kind of stuff where it's like, I know you love it. That's fantastic. But for most of you, you just paid a shit ton of money to see this band. Let them do what they do and you enjoy it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man, I remember like I wish I was already on my antidepressants whenever this happened, because I would have told these two motherfuckers to fuck off. But I was watching some local friends of ours play a Jimmy Wednesday, which is basically Austin's version of emo night, but just kind of on a more locally friendly level, because they split it between two bars and it's all joined in the back patio. But on Swan Dive, you have all local bands playing, and they're either doing cover sets or they're doing all their own original music with most likely a cover just to get the crowd hype. And then on the other side, you got everybody just kind of turning up like a standard LA emo night kind of deal. And my friends in Nominee were doing an acoustic set, and I remember there was these two dudes standing right in front of me just like yapping away because they had just seen each other for the first time in like 2 years or some crap like that. I don't even care. But like they were just like going off, and I wanted to tell them to get the hell to the back of the fucking to the back of the fucking venue, man.
I do that. I do that to people, and like go to see Ken Stringfellow of the Posies, and he's one of my in one of my favorite bands of all time, and just one of the nicest guys. And he's playing a remembered show of 9/11 because he literally played a couple days after 9/11 in Hoboken, New Jersey, where we are. And it was somber. It was weird. His album came out that day. So he did a remembrance 2 years ago. But just two dudes talking right up in front. And I'm just like, I literally turn around and I go, hey, motherfucker, there's a door over there with a bar. Since you're not paying attention, go over there and fucking talk, because you're not here to listen to the music and I am. And you're really starting to fucking piss me off. And then they just give me looks and I'm like, yeah, I'm serious. Just please go away. Like, if you're here for the music, listen to the music. If you're here to talk to each other, just go to the bar next door.
Shane, I need to meet you in person because I love you. You're amazing.
I think we will be able to meet and hook up. You guys are playing Furnace Fest, correct?
Yes.
In September?
Yes.
Okay, I will be there.
Okay, that's awesome.
So we can definitely meet then.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely look forward to it for sure. Yeah.
So
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to say, so what do you guys, I know you said you've been working really hard on another song to get out to us shortly, but what are you guys planning on doing once the fucking levee breaks on what we've been dealing with for the forgotten year? And how, first off, I want to know, how do you guys stay motivated with what we all just went through and how hard it is on musicians and bands alike? Like, how have you guys stay motivated to continue to create? Don't want to bring it down, but gotta ask.
No. Yeah, for the most part, we stay motivated because, like, especially like Christina and I, like, we live and thrive off the live show, you know, and like, as good as we are in studio settings, we are better on a stage. And so like we want to get back there, and like with everybody getting vaccinated, I'm double vaxxed.
Me
Haha.
too.
Hell yeah.
I'm
Gang stuff.
DV'd.
Yeah.
I got Devisa, so I'm good.
Same. I came up with this pickup line for this for Hot Boy Summer. I was just like, "Say girl, I'm double vaxxed. How about you? Like what up?" No, but yeah, you know, like live shows are where we thrive, and so we want to get back to that as soon as possible. But I mean, other than that, like for the most part, everybody's just been kind of writing on their own. I got to admit, on my part in particular, I've been very consumed with my solo project as of late. But
Holly Springs, right?
yes. Oh
Yeah.
my God, you knew about it.
That's what I do, man.
Wow, you deep diver, you. My whole 300 likes on Facebook, mostly people that are friends with me.
Listen, it all it takes is one like from somebody you don't know, and that's
fair.
I mean that's it, and that's what I think people forget about when they create. And you know, for me, it's the same way. It's one like from somebody that I don't know, and that's all it takes to keep going. It gives me like it honestly just keeps pushing, and that's all you need. And if you can focus on that and not worry about all the rest, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. But let me see here. Yeah, we're all just kind of writing on our own. So we actually do have two songs that are finished recording currently, that we're just sort of sitting on. It came from I don't know how much you deep dived on us, but like there was a stint in time where we were in Florida. That's where Reckless came out of. We actually have two other songs that basically COVID interrupted. They should have been out last year, but due to the fact that we couldn't meet up with the guy that we like to do music videos with, we weren't able to get the music videos done for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I feel like this is fine enough to say. Yeah, we got one of the music videos in on the works currently. I will say this: it is kind of like superhero stylistically.
It's
And
in.
yeah, it really definitely is, especially with like all the Avengers stuff and all that other kind of jazz. But that one is hopefully going to be the first one out. We're just kind of waiting on the animator. Yes, you heard me correctly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. And then we have one of our most probably anthemic. I think you'll get a huge kick out of this one if you like our whole anthemic feel. We got one sitting in the works that we just need to now that because it's not only me that's vaxxed up now. I got at least half of our, like 75% of our band is vaxxed now. I think. I don't know if there's anything preventing the other member, but hey, regardless, we are working on figuring out the schedule for the last song, and we will progress with that one as soon as possible. So,
Well, that's awesome. And I mean, do you guys have anything else booked? You know, moving forward to go out and play? Are you playing locally anytime soon by you guys, or is it just a wait and see still?
yeah, we're sitting on the wait and see button.
Yeah.
Very hard, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I personally have been going out and doing like very small like cover gigs at like one of my hometown bars and just kind of playing like country covers and all that other kind of jazz, but like that's just to earn me a paycheck. That's not for anything in particular. So
Yeah, well, I know it's hard, but I know things are opening up. I mean, I started getting some emails from my favorite venue here in New York City, Bowery Ballroom. Jillian Baker's one of them that they just booked for September. So,
ooh,
it's going to be. I'm glad to see that shows are starting to come around, and that's why when Furnace Fest popped up, I was just like, yeah, no, I'm all in. So let's go.
Hell yeah.
Let's get out there and do this. I don't care that it's in Alabama.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that as well.
But So I don't want to keep you much longer. You and I hopefully will have a chance to speak in person in a couple of months and hang out.
Most definitely.
So we end our shows with our weekly threes. It's three things you're listening to right now that you would like people to check out. You give yours, then I give mine.
Okay. Weekly three, huh?
Yeah.
I would say first off is 1996 Montana. He's an 88 Rising artist, and if for anyone who doesn't know what 88 Rising is, they are mostly a hip hop R&B record label that is signing predominantly Asian artists, but he is not, if I remember correctly. But regardless, he has a song that has Kellen Quinn on it. And that bridge that Kellen Quinn is on is pretty fire. So I think 1996 Montana, for anybody listening to this, is going to be pretty good. Other than that, Nikki, N-I-K, I think it's just one K, K-I. Nikki is really awesome. Another 88 Rising artist. I'm sorry, I've been really into 88 Rising. I promise you the next one won't be. Um, yeah, Nikki is absolutely amazing. She is very diverse in terms of her tonality, and she is very pop driven, but like more pop R&B, and has amazing beats that tend to groove with her lyrical style, which I feel like is very sorely lacking in most modern R&B and hip hop. Now, third artist, I would actually say Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. In case anybody didn't know, they recently, within at least the past 6 months, because it dropped in 2020, so it was probably off some folks' radar. But Red Jumpsuit Apparatus released an EP called Emergency.
Mm-hmm.
That thing, front to back, phenomenal.
Yeah, you want to talk about anthemic bands? They are one.
They are absolutely amazing. Very big influence on me. I still remember to this day, like watching because I didn't have cable, watching whatever like little music video thing I had, and eventually as soon as it got to like alt rock or anything like that, and they put on freaking the music video for Face Down, I was just like, wow, this is amazing. Holy crap, this is my favorite band.
I get it.
Yeah.
Totally get it. So that's your three. My three for this week. There's a band called Restorations. They are a Philly rock band. They, to try to get people to check out stuff, they're kind of later sounding of the Gaslight Anthem style, but they're just they're a band that doesn't care and writes amazing music. There's an album, LP 5000, that I suggest to check out if you're going to check them out. My second one is a band called Coast to Coast. They are an alternative emo rock band from the UK. If you're into either alternative music or emo music or rock music, check out Coast to Coast. Check out the album The World Doesn't Work. And last but not least, I have Violet Night. That's Violet Night, not Violent Night. Violet Night. They're a Toronto-based band. A lot of keyboards, but guitars, and I it's hard to put them into a genre for me. They kick ass. And the album Anti-Heroes is their latest album. I would suggest checking that out.
That sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, they're pretty fucking dope. I can't explain it. Like some songs is, the keys are there and it just all of a sudden takes off into a different direction and gets poppy. Like it's awesome. They're awesome.
Do you mind if I throw one more in there, just really, really quick?
No, you're allowed a fourth.
Oh, thank you.
You wouldn't be the first. You wouldn't be the first.
Yeah. Okay. So one of my absolute favorites going on right now is Soft Cult. It is a side project for Mercedes and Phoenix Arnhorn of Courage My Love, and it is more along the veins of shoegaze, but it is really great indie music, indie rock. And especially Take It Off is a fantastic. If any women are out there looking for empowerment music, definitely this album for you. Year of the Rat. Great stuff.
Awesome. That's Soft Call, right?
Cult.
Soft Cult. All right. So Soft Cult. All right. So why don't you take this time, Nathan, to tell everybody how to find your stuff, how to find all your Forever Starts Today, even in your own stuff if you want, how to get in touch with you guys, how to keep up with everything you're doing. Take that opportunity now.
I'll keep it FST. This one's not about me. You can find us on, we have foreverstartstoday.net, if I remember correctly. That is our main website. And
he is correct.
Oh, amazing. I got it right. And we're on Facebook at Forever Starts Today. I think we're probably the only one. And then FST Band is our Instagram. I'm not sure what our Twitter is because I don't run that. That's not my game. But you can find us on all social medias. Be sure to check our stuff out on all streaming platforms. We're everywhere, and we want to be in your face and have a good time.
All right. Well, Mr. Nathan Dunn, thank you for coming by today. We appreciate what you're doing. We appreciate all the great music that you're providing to us. And I want everybody out there to go listen to Forever Starts Today and have a great fucking time.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions to myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.